This word mean? Okay. Alphabets, grammar. Okay. You've got a lot of good stuff there. One of the things we're going to talk about is if all of those are necessary to define language. We'll talk about that.
Tony DeFazio focuses on a writing process. He uses a pre-writing phase, conferencing between students, and then a writing phase.
You're writing a series of letters, all right? Everybody's got that? I introduced the concept of linguistics, and what I want them to do is now take whatever information they gather and put it together in a written project called What is Language?
As part of the pre-writing process, Mr. DeFazio works with the students on the particular concept that they're going to be writing about.
What was the most obvious question that you have to answer in this letter, Eric? Okay, the obvious question is you have to explain what language is. What else do you have to explain?
So he doesn't just have them start writing, he really helps to develop that concept. He's developing the vocabulary, he's developing a conceptual framework by doing brainstorming and a semantic map.
Okay, this is what language?
Polish.
Polish. How do we pronounce it?
Yenzyk.
Yenzyk? How bad is my Polish? Good. Good. Thank you. We got over here what? This is what language?
Spanish.
Spanish. Gustavo, how do you pronounce it? Lenguaje. Okay, what's this?
English.
This really helps in developing a baseline in which students are at least coming to this topic with some common understanding of what they're expected to write about.
We do a variety of kinds of writing. Sometimes it's straight reporting, sometimes it's imaginative, sometimes it's group writing. If you want to write some of this in your native language, be my guest. Students are free to write in their first language. They're free to write in a combination of English and their first language. They're free to get whatever help they need. The only thing I ask is that there has to be some mechanism for me to assess what it is that they've gotten out of any particular unit. When I read these, you have to find a way either to help me read what you wrote, bring somebody in to help me translate it, or write a paragraph or two in English summarizing what you wrote, okay? If I ask you, will you read that in Korean? Okay, good. And will you help me translate it? In the course of this, if you want to refer to any of the semantic maps, please come up and look at them. There's a rubric for every project that the students deal with, and so they know when we assess something that there are certain things that we are going to look at and that they are consistent from paper to paper, from project to project. Did you use a variety of sources if we're doing a research project? Do you support what it is that you're trying to say? Is there some attempted organization? That kind of thing. And again, the way we respond to the students' work is a function of where the student is in his or her development in terms of the second language. So you started it in Spanish and now you're trying to... You can continue in the Spanish and you can just give us a one-paragraph summary if you want, okay? All right. You got a good introduction. Okay, you're going to continue with that? Where are you going to go next? Many of the students will start off writing either 2 or 3 sentences at the beginning of the school year and then gradually expand it. I want everybody paying attention to these 5. It'll give us an idea about how different people started and where they think they're going to go.
Every language has its characteristics, and some of them are sounds, alphabet, grammar, and words. Also, animals have their own language. They communicate by sounds, smell.
Okay, that's as far as you got, right? Where do you think you might go next? Do you have any ideas?
Talk a little more about the animals' communication. And then we're going to start with comparing language, our language, and English.
I liked what Tony DeFazio did because he was looking for meaning as opposed to picking out small mistakes, which I think that definitely there's a place for that, but he was looking at how did they couch their argument, which I think is extremely effective to start with and then go down to the sub-skills.
I found from my research that animal communication is not a language. Animal communication is different from the human communication because in case of dolphins, they communicate through ultrasonic pulses that cannot be heard by the human ear.
Very nice job. It's very thorough. She gave a lot of specifics. There's a criticism that I might have over it, and that is that things seem a little bit cramped, like she needs more space and time to develop some of these things, but that's because she wanted to give us everything she could in 20 minutes.
I think it's nice that he comments publicly in front of the whole class on student work. The students aren't intimidated or embarrassed to hear what his comments are. He's both supportive and critical, creating a comfortable atmosphere for the students, but he's also pushing them further, whether it's an aspect of grammar or if it's an aspect of content.
Very nice. That animal communication is not a language. It is a language. That's what I think, because they communicate.
But they don't speak. They don't have words. They don't say mama.
characteristics. And in animal language, some of the characteristics that you said, it's
You can sense this comfort that the students have, not only with the content that they're writing about, but also with each other, so that at the end of the class, students are actually debating about this particular topic. And so you hear the students using vocabulary and interested in heated manner. You know that you've got the students when they're doing that. And I thought that was really great.